Welcome to Epicor Eclipse ERP Purchasing Report Series. This presentation covers the physical inventory valuation report. There are two types of inventory valuations that you can do in Eclipse. One is the book valuation, which is based on purchases minus sales, or purchase orders. Physical is based on physical on-hand balance minus purchase cost average. Book and physical valuation will never exactly match because received but unpaid inventory, shipping and freight charges, return goods, items added to inventory that did not come in through the normal purchasing process, aka no purchase order or a lot job, which could foul things up, and of course shrinkage and miscounts. Anyone that's ever had somebody go out and try and count 50 different types of identical wire but a different color and a different spool size knows how how thoroughly miscounts can get fouled up and skew your numbers. This report looks more scary than it actually is. There are 3 different tabs of informational parameters that you can play with, including some very odd selections here on the product selection screen. Quantity types, give me an inventory of everything of -5. I guess you could, why you would do that is anyone's guess. Inventory accounts to include, I suppose if you've got a company that's using multiple inventory accounts from the default, you can select this. I can't. But anyway, it looks scarier than it is. This is one of those reports that allows you to define a template, and you can include and exclude various information that you want in your report, or just pick the default for everything. And here we're going to run just a basic summary physical inventory valuation report. Typically, the accounting department wants a summary and a detail. You'll have to ask them why. That just historically seems to be the way it is. But and we're just going to pick the default template because we want all the information. Honestly, all the information the report provides seems to be pretty useful, so I've never had an occasion to remove any columns. As mentioned, my company only has 1 inventory account, so I can only select 1. And most of these things on display settings and additional selection tabs, this is taking the defaults. You can poke around and filter this, but be forewarned, when you add additional parameters, you're going to skew the numbers because you've done some level of filtering, and you might have more unanticipated results than you expected. And here's the summary report viewed through our hold file, and it gives us pretty much what we expect, broken down by price line in our system, since we're an electrical distributor. The stock on hand, quantity times what we said the cost basis was. You'll notice tagged RFO, on-hand display, on-hand, etc., etc. Tagged would be tagged for to change the status, to return to stock, or to RJ or something like that. RFO, that's another one of those flagged for are they overstock, returns, and I forget what F is, so don't hold me to that. If you have a display area and you've marked that all out, then that'll give you a count of what you've counted in your display that you don't have available for sale, but you're displaying it, so you have to count it. And here's an example of the setup for the same report, but in detail view. And please do keep in mind, when you run these reports in various summary and detail views in different branches, double check the parameters you put in. Eclipse, as I said, each report tends to give a slightly different version of the number. That already drives the accounting department a little cross-eyed, because it's very hard to really nail down an exact number for anything, depending on your point of view. And if you give them reports that are accidentally skewed, that just makes it that much worse. So pay close attention. You're using the same parameters each time with slight variations. For me, I tend to screen capture the things as I do it, because after I have a mind like a sieve. So if I run the report once and 2 minutes later I go to run the next report, but in detail view I'll forget something sure as shit. And here's the detail view, as seen in our hold file, and pretty much exactly the way you'd expect it in detail mode. So we've got a breakdown of each individual part and each individual line, and the count and the value. You'll notice, for some strange reason, this is typical in Eclipse reports, that when it goes to put out the Eclipse record ID for the product, it'll put a caret on there. That's slightly annoying, but this report is very amenable for downloading to Excel. Just remember to take that caret out if you have to do VLOOKUPs and matches. And when viewed in the hold file, of course, you have the ability of being able to click into the hyperlinks and drill down into individual things. So it's a great way. You should try and get into the habit in viewing a lot of these control reports from within Eclipse instead of trying to download them to Excel and monkey with them there. And the reason why is because they've built into these reports that you're viewing from within Eclipse all these wonderful mechanisms to be able to drill down and look at, that's 3M product. I don't remember. When did I order that? And so you can click on it and look at the inventory history ledger and take a look at the stock adjustments, and you know, there's a lot of questions you can answer right from within the report. Now, of course, that means that you'll want to put more detailed reports instead of the general ones that I show, so you've got a limited number of parts. But this is an incredibly powerful tool, and I highly suggest you make use of it. The reason why I say that is because I never did, and apparently I was stupid. I'd like you to not make my mistakes. And this completes our presentation on the Physical Inventory Valuation Report. Thank you for your attention, and as always, I am not Scott Zahn.